Hello, Mark Larsen here for the Dreamcatcher podcast. Today, I welcome back Caleb Hahne. He's the number one guest. We were just talking about. I think this is the fourth time you've been on the Dreamcatcher podcast, and thanks for supporting and being my guest so many times.
Absolutely, thanks, Mark. It's an honor to be on. I always enjoy being on, so thanks for asking again.
I enjoy having you on. I enjoy anytime we have conversations.
Yeah.
So whether it's at the Y or here or wherever. So
even better when we have some coffee too.
It is. Coffee is always a good thing. Yeah, very much. Especially when you don't spill it like I did yesterday. I almost cried on that one. So, Caleb, we're at the beginning of 2026, which is amazing to me that time flies. We thought maybe we'd talk about the importance of health, and health is wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And so you're a personal trainer, and that's how I got to know you at the Y quite a few years ago now.
Yeah.
So why did you decide to become a personal trainer? I don't know if I know for sure on that.
It's probably changed and evolved over the years. When I first got into it, it was, I really just enjoyed lifting weights, staying active.
Okay.
So I thought this would be a good avenue to go into. But then as I started getting into this, working with people, I realized, like, wow, some people just really struggle with living a healthy lifestyle. They don't know what to do when they go into the gym or the weight room or wherever they go. Like, they might just go walk on a treadmill, which is great. Movement is great, but there's just so much more that you could do. So just teaching people how to work out more efficiently. I mean, because if you're there for a few hours a day, like, there's more efficient things that you could do to save time. So
True.
And then along with, talking about their diet, like, I truly do believe that most people do know what to eat. It's just keeping them accountable. But then there is still a good handful of people that just don't know what to do and don't even know where to start.
True.
So it's setting, those small goals for them to kind of get the ball rolling, get them going in the right direction and moving forward.
Yeah. A mind confused does nothing. And I found that on a lot of things. And so how much, I mean, is that what you went to school in, or what?
I went to school for exercise science with a minor in nutrition. And of course, we always have to do some sort of continuing education credits every 2 years. We have to do that. So, I always keep up on the current education and try to keep on learning and educating myself so that I can keep on bettering my clients and the members at the Y to help them out the best that I can.
Okay. So, well, you're at the Hastings, Nebraska YMCA. Mm-hmm. So how long have you been part of?
Been there 9 years now.
9 years? Whoa, okay.
Long time.
That is. Time flies when you're having fun. And you look like you're always enjoying it. In fact, it looks like, I only know that there's a gal there as a trainer, and she looks like she's always enjoying herself too.
Yeah.
How many personal trainers do you have there?
We have a total of 5 right now. So,
okay.
Yeah.
That's quite a few.
Yeah.
So does it pick up after the beginning of the year, or is it kind of pretty steady on the people coming to approach you?
As far as personal training goes, we have seen a little bit of an increase. Then just as far as like overall activity in the Y, in the weight room, cardio, it's dramatically increased. I would say about a week or two before Christmas, it starts to pick up, and then up through at least through January. So it really increases usage. So.
I can believe that. Yes.
Yep.
So I didn't know before you were my personal trainer.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know a lot of that things. So do you start everybody at the same place, or how do you do that? Somebody that's kind of a newbie, it's maybe not such a newbie. So
yeah, it really just depends on the client, like where they are. Even not that I would say an older person can't do something that like a 25-year-old can do. But I'm gonna try to do my best to get them to that point. So they might start at a lower baseline than a younger person might. But
that makes sense.
And even vice versa. I've worked with a 30-year-old that was out of shape, overweight, didn't eat well, couldn't move, and you just got to get them to the point where they're more functional, they can eat better, they can move better, they feel better, they sleep better.
Makes a big difference.
Yeah.
So is it anybody ever too old, or
No.
Okay.
No, if you think you're too old, then
you probably don't have the mindset.
You don't have the right mindset. Yeah. And that is another point too. I mean, you got to have the right mindset when you come in here. I don't really want to work with anybody that doesn't have that mindset. So I mean, I'll have that conversation with you. Like, I want you to have the right mindset, and I want you to come in here on your own, do some things, come see me once or twice a week. Brush up on some stuff, motivate you, push you.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I have an 82-year-old.
Really? Awesome.
And she's great. I see her twice a week, and
That's really so cool. I
I've
love
been
that.
seeing her for probably 4 or 5 years now. So
Excellent.
yeah,
She's the one that's, I
yeah,
mean, yeah, it's never too old. Well,
yeah,
everybody tells me I'm too old to do a podcast. Yeah, it's so physical.
yeah.
It's just like, just forget your age and just do the stuff.
Technology can be hard, but you love talking, so that's over half the battle.
It is. And it's like, I turned 63 and everybody's like, when are you going to retire? It's like, why would I retire for
Yeah.
something that I get to sit and talk to people?
Yeah,
It's a win-win, a lot of wins there.
yeah.
So okay, at the Y, did you implement some, I mean, new programs, or what are some programs you have with personal training?
As far as personal training goes, I don't know if we have too many specific programs.
Okay.
We do. I mean, we always offer like group training. Like if you have a group of friends that you want to work out with,
Really, you do? I didn't know
that way
that.
the
Okay.
friends can keep each other accountable.
That's cool.
One new thing that I've kind of seen happen this year is I've noticed that we've had like a few group of friends that will kind of do their challenge together.
Excellent.
And we have what's called an in-body device that will measure like your weight, body composition, how much skeletal muscle mass you have,
Right,
all that
right.
sort of thing. And they'll come in and they'll pay to do a scan, and that's how they're like tracking their progress. We've had like
Okay.
a few small groups of friends that'll do
Okay.
that. So that's something new that we haven't seen
Okay.
ever really.
Okay. That's awesome.
So that's kind of cool. It's great if we have a program, the Y makes money. That's great. But I think it's even cooler to see friends getting together, pushing
talk about a
themselves,
great deal.
motivating themselves. And, sure, they might be paying $10 for a scan, but that's nothing. So
No, that is, in today's world, that is definitely nothing.
it's just a great way to track your progress through that in-body scan to, because you like say, oh, I feel better. I think I'm stronger. But until you kind of put that on a paper to see what that looks like, it's just such a
Puts
great
it
way
into
to,
reality.
yes,
Yeah.
such a great way to measure your progress.
That's
So,
excellent.
yeah.
So, I mean, is there so many people you can take it like with a group? How do you do that?
Usually we probably prefer to keep it around, 2 to 4 people in a group. So
Okay.
that way,
Okay.
you can still kind of get that one-on-one
Yeah.
attention.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, like the pricing would probably get
Sure.
a little bit cheaper per
Sure.
person. So that's usually
Okay.
a big advantage as well. But then, I mean, the other thing is you're usually with your friends. So one, it's fun.
It is.
Okay?
Yeah.
If you're not having fun
Yeah.
working out, sure,
Important.
there might be parts of the workout that might not be great. And you might say, oh God, this really sucks. But I can guarantee, especially with your friends, when you're all said and done, you're like, gosh, that felt so good.
It does.
I'm ready to do this again in 2 days.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to come back again.
Exactly. It's kind of like, well, it doesn't seem like you're actually working out, probably.
Yeah.
It's kind of like anything you do, you don't work a day in life when you enjoy something,
Yeah.
you're in the flow and everything like that. So,
Mhm.
so that is awesome. So, did you do anything before you were at the Y here, or was this your first?
This was kind of my first job in the field. I did work, just an odd job,
Did you? Okay.
full time, but which I easily could have pursued that field as well. It was, um, it was actually a farm and supply store.
Oh, really? Okay.
They
Oh, yeah.
they actually wanted me to go into their manager training program, and because I worked there kind of through high school and college. And,
Okay. I like their stores. Okay.
they wanted me to stay on board, but it was like, nah, I don't know if I can work retail the rest of my life. And
I
also,
can't see you doing that either, actually.
it wasn't so bad. I would say I'm a people person, so I did
Mhm.
enjoy talking to people, but
Mhm.
just those people that are, crabby and just want whatever they want.
And there's always going to be that in it, especially in retail.
That's
Yes.
retail. And
Yeah.
that's just one thing I could not handle. And being a manager, I don't know if I wanted to work 50, 60 hours a week. So
Yeah, I don't
yeah,
blame you on that.
not for me.
No,
So,
you look like you're in flow. Yeah, I think you
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
So I think we probably asked this in maybe the first podcast. When you were growing up, what did you want to be?
Oh, I mean, a professional football player.
You did? Okay,
Absolutely.
okay.
Yep.
Okay.
That was always my dream.
Okay.
But I mean, as we know, there's probably less than a 1% chance to make it to the pros.
Okay.
That's you should never chase
No,
your
true.
dreams, but
That's true. Yeah.
at some point, some dreams just can't become a reality. And, that's kind of what brought me a little bit to where I am today. Like,
Okay.
I was an athlete. I always had aspirations to play in the pros, and I
Mhm.
don't think I was ever even close to good enough, but that's totally okay. Like, and I always wanted to work with athletes. So, at one point I wanted to be like a strength and conditioning
Oh,
coach.
really?
That
Okay.
didn't quite work out, quite what I didn't expect it to be. So I kind of pivoted, transitioned to being a personal trainer. And, I still get to work with high profile athletes,
Yeah,
maybe not professional athletes, but I still get to work with high profile high
exactly.
school athletes. One of my athletes is committed to go to Northwestern University in Chicago. It's a
Nice.
Division I school, playing football in the Big
Excellent.
Ten. So it's not like I don't get to work with pretty
Yeah,
cool
it's
people.
nice.
So,
Yeah,
and I see a wide variety of people, not just
I
athletes.
bet you do.
And
Yeah.
I always thought like, gosh, I only want to work with athletes because they're the best. But honestly, like, my opinion on that has also transitioned a little bit, because like, what you teach athletes, it doesn't move over to the real life. Because most time when athletes get out of college, they get out of the pros, they're like, gosh, how do I work out? I don't have anybody telling me what to do. But
Yes.
when I see adults or elderly, I'm teaching them, I'm giving them the tools so that they can do this on their own in the future.
Yep.
I don't expect anybody to see me forever. If they do, if that's what they need, that's great. Um, but I will give them the tools to do this on their own, to
And you
set them
do.
up for success for the rest of their life.
Yeah,
So,
you've taught me so many things that I had no clue
yeah,
about, and
yeah.
it's like you're in my head. It's like,
That's what I want.
What would Caleb?
That's what I want.
So, no, and you are very much,
Yeah.
which is awesome. So you have a professional team you like really well. That is your team. That you
I'm
watch.
a Denver
Are you
Broncos fan,
Broncos?
so
Okay,
they're
okay.
doing really good this year. They have the #1 seed going in the playoffs, so they'll probably blow it, but that's fine.
Hopefully not. No, I think I'll admit that. That's her team too. So,
Yep.
but no, I mean, this is so. I always get so many people. It's like you go to the why. People
Mhm.
seem to have the wrong idea about a why.
Mhm.
How do I try to correct them? But how does a why still have that? I had some the other day, and I think maybe I told you they wanted to know if you could still get a bed there. It's like I don't think so. I think that's way past. But it's like, well, the why is expensive. The why is all this, and it's the why is awesome. You guys, the one you're at is they're like
Mhm.
family. They're
Yeah.
awesome
Yeah.
and have so many things they offer. And how do we get, I guess, maybe just doing things like this? How do people still have that idea about whys? Because there's a lot of whys, even in central Nebraska,
Yeah.
that are awesome. But
Yeah. I think the why is more than just a gym. And I
Mhm.
guess if that's all you're looking for is just the gym, then maybe you could go like an Anytime Fitness, or
Right,
like a
right,
Beauty and the Beast here in town, and that's great. But
right.
we're more than just the gym.
A
Obviously, like
long
we have,
ways.
I mean, basketball courts, a pool, hot tub, sauna, and not only that, but we feel like that we've built a community.
You have.
Um, I like, kind of like CrossFit kind of has as well. You can say whatever you want about
Mhm.
CrossFit. I mean, it's a great workout, but what they built with CrossFit is a community.
Mhm.
Everybody goes and does it for each other.
Yep.
And that's what I kind of feel like the why is, and what we've done as well. I feel like everybody kind of knows everybody.
Very
If you
much.
haven't, I've seen it multiple times. Somebody will come up to me and like, where's Joe been? I haven't seen him
Mhm.
in a
Yep.
month. Like, where
Yep.
is he doing? Okay, have you heard from him? And
Right,
you're like, oh
right.
yeah, he just goes to Arizona for the winter.
Yeah. Yep.
So it is true. And like, we have a social area, where we have coffee and people
Mhm.
can just converse. And now we have like once a month where we serve pancakes and
They were
seniors.
awesome.
So
Yeah, Blake did
yeah,
a good job.
yeah.
They were very
So,
good.
yeah, I think we're doing a lot of things for our community just to kind of bring everybody together. And I think
Yep.
that's what the why is, and what the why stands for, and what it should
Yes.
be. So,
It is. I mean,
yeah.
it's just, and I like the fact that you can go to other Ys too, like the ones that
Yeah,
aren't
yeah,
even the
that's a
ones
very
around
good
here.
point.
Uh,
Not every single why, but most of the whys will, they'll be in in a nationwide membership, where you, like, as Mark is talking about, like,
yeah, it's awesome.
you can go to another state and say, hey, I have a membership at the Hastings, Nebraska YMCA, and most of the time they don't have a problem. They might have a few restrictions, like,
Yeah.
okay, well, you can only come visit us 4 times a month.
Hmm.
It varies a little bit from Y to Y.
Yeah.
So
But that's a big perk. I
it
mean,
is
that
huge.
is
Yeah.
such a nice,
Yeah.
and so
So
far I have never run into
yeah,
anybody.
so if you're on vacation, you can,
So,
check out if you have a local
yep,
Y in the area, and you can still get a workout in while you're on
yep.
vacation.
Even
So
Holdridge, and they have a little
yeah,
bit different system, but it's like, we'll find you. And
yeah,
that's an
yeah,
awesome Y for the size
absolutely.
of town.
Yep,
So,
yep, very cool.
but and cost. You guys have almost a way to get almost everybody that, depending on where they're at, for money wise, they can almost, because I know you guys raise funds every year for to help
Yeah,
people that are less well off. So
Yeah, and I think our memberships is up to like around $80 a month for a family membership, which includes 2 adults and unlimited youth, just as long as they
That's really
live in the
reasonable.
same household.
Okay.
And we don't ever want to turn anybody away. And like what
Hmm.
Mark was talking about,
Hmm.
we do have an annual campaign where we raise, I think it's usually around $250,000 a year. Where
Awesome.
if someone truly cannot afford a membership, we have an application they can fill out, and they can get up to a 50% discount, which I mean that's huge.
That is.
And if that's still a barrier, we will absolutely work with you, and that's where we'll probably just have you do some like volunteer hours, X amount of volunteer hours to run the month to get you a free membership, so that you're truly not paying anything.
Yeah. No, there's
So
no reason why you can't.
yeah,
I mean, you just
yeah,
go in there and find out. So, I mean,
yeah,
you guys, and I don't know, maybe you'll talk to Nicholas. Nicholas is Nicholas is an
yeah,
amazing person.
yeah,
He's my
yeah.
coffee dealer.
There you
He
go.
gets
Yeah,
me his Italian coffee, make
yeah,
sure I'm supplied.
perfect.
So okay, going a little bit different direction.
Yeah.
So people, like Dreamcatcher.
Hmm.
Why do you think most people don't catch their dreams?
I think a little bit of fear.
Okay.
Um, I think just kind of like what you're doing, Mark, like the fear is like, how am I going to make money?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think money drives everybody, and
I agree.
that's okay to a point.
Yep, it is.
Um, but to another point, you also just need to be doing what makes you happy,
Yes.
what gets you up every single day. Like if you have a job where you're just like, oh gosh,
Yeah.
I just don't want to go into work today, and
Yep.
if that happens every single day, that's a problem. Like
There's a
I
sign there.
think
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
never gonna rarely find a job where you just wake and you don't
No,
have a bad
there's
day.
always
Like
going to be some. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. But I think fear and money are the two biggest drivers, and I think a lot of people now just miss that drive. Like
I think so too, actually. So, yeah, it's just,
we just get very complacent, I think,
and I think,
uh and that's a big problem in today's world. And I mean, complacency, we could spend all day talking about
oh, yeah.
complacency. We have about many different things. So
Yes. And I think today's world where it's almost everything's instantaneous, it's like if it doesn't happen, because I've been talking to people in this group I'm with podcasters, and they're like in episode 5, and it's like they're not getting these big numbers, and it's like, oh, everything's a journey. It's very much a
yeah,
journey.
yeah,
It's how it's doing the reps, it's building the strength to do that.
yeah. I mean, kind of
Uh,
jumping back to like the health and wellness topic, it's kind of the same concept as like someone trying to lose weight.
hmm
I'll see someone once or twice a week, and they come back the next week like, geez, Caleb, I didn't lose any weight. What are you doing wrong to me? And like,
hmm
we're not doing anything wrong.
Yeah,
Unless you're doing something wrong diet wise, we can certainly talk about. But if you're doing everything right, exercise, diet, it's all about staying to the plan, staying consistent, keeping at it,
it is
and just trust the process,
very much.
and it'll all come together in the end.
Yeah, I
But
mean, people look at where I'm at on the number of episodes, and it's like, people on Facebook like it.
yeah,
Very much.
absolutely. Yep.
It's been a slow climb
Yep.
on YouTube, but yeah, with 55,000 followers on Facebook, and that part is. But I post a lot. Like every time I'm
Yep.
doing something, everybody's like, Cheryl even gets, my wife gets, it's like, really, another picture? So,
Oh
but
gosh.
it
Yeah.
is, it's, she thinks it's just doing it fun, which I do like taking pictures, but it is kind of doing what you need to do to be in that field.
Hmm.
You need to be out in the world,
Yeah.
and that's social media.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. It's interesting that although people say that kids are not awesome, and I met yesterday. I was at I met some awesome people, young men from Hastings College,
Hmm.
and it's just like they couldn't have been any more. I wasn't even that good at that age. Um, it's just things are, and that's another thing. People think everything's, it's ending. It's like this is the end of the world and stuff. And I think maybe everybody always thought that, as technology changes, kind of like when your computer asks who you are, and I'm glad I knew.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but
And going back to the kids, like, I mean, are kids a problem right now? I absolutely do believe they are, but what's the root of the problem?
yeah,
It's not the kid's fault.
yeah,
It usually falls back to the parents,
yeah,
and it always does fall back to the parents. And a lot of times, maybe there's been some divorces, and it's just a single parent family.
yeah,
Worst case scenario, maybe parents die and they're living in a foster home, and and that's not fair to the kids either. So yes, the kids are a problem, but they're not the cause of the problem.
No, they're
So,
just the results of the people,
yes.
not
Yep.
having the guidance.
Yes.
And
Yep.
no, I agree. That's why I'm just amazed how many people that I find at the Y that are really.
Yeah.
In fact, it was really cozy. There were 7 of us in the steam room.
Yeah, that is a lot.
Yeah,
We're
it's just,
cozy.
yeah, it's just like, okay, this is cool. But
Yeah. Yeah.
no, I think that go after your dream. And it's another thing, cost. Everybody's like, you can almost do anything, especially a podcast. You can start a podcast with
Mhm.
your phone.
Mhm.
And maybe, have you ever thought about doing a podcast for your training, or like a once a month, or?
Yeah, maybe we could do once a month for something for the Y or something. But I mean, there's just a time thing,
Yeah.
Me and my boss talk about, all the things that we maybe could add or should add, but it's just you go back to, we're still one
Yeah.
person, and
Yeah,
we
what you-
just we're it's just hard to find time to do extra things. So
Yes.
yeah, a
Yes.
podcast would be very cool for the Y. But
It would be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see you guys definitely doing that. So, yeah, your son might even want to join in.
Yeah, there you go.
I haven't seen him for a while, so except
Yep.
on Facebook, so
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
bit. So do you have anything new programs coming up at the Y, or anything that maybe you don't want to share, or do you want to share?
Gosh, I don't know. I don't think we have anything, honestly, too
Okay,
exciting coming up
okay,
that I know of anyways. So
okay. So
yeah.
if somebody wanted to work with you, how do they find out? How do they get to working with somebody like you?
Yeah, if you just go to our website, hastingsymca.net, and just click on our personal training tab, it'll show up all of our personal trainers. Like I said, we have 5. It's going to have all of our bios.
Okay.
You can read our bios, see which trainer you think you would kind of mesh well the best. I mean,
Mhm.
because I don't think anybody can work with anybody. I think you got to kind of have similar personalities. And then it's just a matter of emailing them or calling them, setting up a consultation meeting to kind of go over goals, your wants and needs, pricing. And once again, making sure, like, personality wise,
True.
you're a
Yes.
good fit. Cause I mean,
Yes.
I truly believe that you could be the smartest trainer in the world. You can know everything about the human body, the best exercises that would do best for you, Mark.
Right.
But
Right.
if your client does not look forward to seeing you for your session and does not enjoy talking to you during your session,
Yeah.
then
Yeah. It's not
it's going to be pointless,
It
because
is.
your client has to want to come back.
Yep.
And Mark, we talked a lot during the session, did we not?
We did. We definitely. Yes.
You still worked extremely hard,
Yeah,
but
so-
we still had some good conversations.
We did. Yes.
Sometimes it was a little random, but I mean,
Yeah,
also that's
yeah.
also a good opportunity for us to talk about, like, your diet,
Yes,
what you're
yes.
doing outside of your sessions, and
Yes.
that sort of thing too.
It is.
So yeah.
No, we had great conversations, and I got to know you through
Yeah.
Seth. Seth's like you're gonna like him a lot.
Yeah, there you go.
And
Perfect.
haven't talked to Seth for a while. So okay. Going back to, this is being the 350th episode. So whatever your dream is, do something today. Don't put it off. Do something now. Take action. Because I mean, the action taker is the one to get things done. Because someday everybody's like, well, someday I'm going to do whatever this is. Some days don't necessarily have to come,
Mhm.
your way. And if you're not feeling well, or you want to lose some weight or whatever, or get some more strength, because I see so many older people that fall, that maybe get a hold of somebody like
Sure.
you, Caleb.
Yeah.
And I just think that that's just a great option that I really didn't know before I joined the Y.
Yeah.
And I had such a kind of a tainted vision of the Y too before I started. And you helped me, the issue I was having, and that helped
Yeah.
greatly.
Absolutely. Yep.
So I loved working with you. Love having these
appreciate it.
podcasts. So
Yeah.
so before we end the podcast, thank you for joining me on the 350th. Anything
Yeah.
you would like to share before we end?
Yeah, just kind of retouching on what Mark just kind of talked about, and also with the New Year's resolutions, like Mark was just talking about, don't put anything off, do it now. Kind of the same thing with New Year's resolutions. Like, I'm not a huge fan of New Year's resolutions.
Yeah.
Like, Thanksgiving rolls around, like, oh, I'm gonna start making my goals for New Year's.
Mhm.
Just do it now. And
Amen.
at this point, New Year's is already here.
Yeah.
We're in 2026 now, so don't make a goal for next week, next month. Do it now. Do it right now. Big thing is, don't don't make a huge goal for yourself. Sure, have a long-term goal, but have some stepping stones along the way. Make some
Yes.
small attainable goals that you can reach, but still challenge you. But no matter what you're trying to do, maybe you're trying to have a different career, maybe trying to lose some weight.
Mhm.
The big thing is you cannot have so big of a goal that you need to accomplish in a week and you fail. And you're like, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
I'm going back to whatever I was doing before, and
Right.
I'm just going to keep on living my life. You have to make small attainable goals,
Yes,
work towards your big goal.
you do.
No matter what it is, whether it's, like I said, new career, you want to lose 50
Yeah.
pounds, it doesn't matter what your goal is.
No, amen. And it's just like in a podcast,
Yeah.
it's a small goal, but
Yeah.
take action, move forward.
Yeah.
Even if it is a small step, at least it's a step.
Yep.
Taking action. So,
Yeah.
Caleb, thanks for joining me on this
Absolutely.
episode.
Thanks, Mark.
And we've got a beautiful day here in January.
For sure.
Love that. And we'll end right there. So,
All right.
take care.
Thanks, Mark. See ya.